Have you ever stopped to question the current corporate culture and its impact on you, the employee? In our fast-paced world, the corporate culture has often been painted as a well-oiled machine, tirelessly churning out profits and growth. But at what cost? The cost, it seems, is often borne by the very cogs that keep this machine running smoothly: the employees. The prevailing corporate culture, unfortunately, has a tendency to prioritize profits over people. It's an environment where the bottom line reigns supreme, with little consideration for the human element that makes it all possible. This profit-first mentality, while beneficial for the company's financial standing, can create a toxic environment for employees, leading to burnout, stress, and dissatisfaction. In the pursuit of success and growth, corporations often lose sight of the very individuals who drive their success. Employees are no longer seen as people with lives, families, and personal needs. Instead, they are reduced to numbers on a spreadsheet, their value measured solely by their productivity and efficiency. This lack of empathy and understanding towards employees' needs and well-being is a serious issue. It's a culture that fails to acknowledge the importance of a healthy work-life balance, the necessity of mental health support, or even the basic need for a conducive working environment. So where does this leave us, the employees? Stuck in a cycle of relentless work with little regard for our own well-being. We're expected to conform, to fit into this corporate mold without question or complaint. But this isn't just about the hours we put in or the tasks we complete. It's about our value as individuals, our rights as employees, and our need for a working environment that respects and supports us. It's about recognizing that we are more than just a means to an end, more than just a tool for profit. We are human beings, deserving of respect, understanding, and a workplace that values our contribution. The corporate world, as it stands, seems to be a machine that cares little for the cogs that keep it running. Remember the pre-pandemic corporate world? Has it really changed post-pandemic? Let's take a stroll down memory lane, back to a time when the phrase 9 to 5 was more than just a Dolly Parton classic. It was a lifestyle, a routine. The hustle and bustle of the morning commute, the endless sea of cubicles, the water cooler chit-chat, and the never-ending cycle of meetings. That was the corporate world then, a soulless machine that ran on the fuel of human effort and time. Fast forward to today. The world has been through a global health crisis, a tragedy that has fundamentally shifted the way we live, the way we work. From the ashes of the pandemic rose the phoenix of remote work. Employees found they could be productive from the comfort of their homes, away from the stifling environment of the corporate office. It seemed like a new dawn, a revolution in the corporate world. But has the corporate world truly changed, or is it merely wearing a new mask? Despite the global shift to remote work, many corporations have been relentless in their efforts to return to the old normal. The reasons they give may vary: increased productivity, collaboration, corporate culture, but beneath the surface, the underlying motive remains the same: control. In the corporate world of then and now, employees are still seen as mere cogs in the machine, their well-being often overlooked in the pursuit of profit. The corporate machine continues to churn largely unaltered despite the global crisis that has shaken the very foundations of our society. The pandemic has revealed the true face of the corporate world, unmasked the illusion of concern for employee welfare. It has shown us that the soulless corporate machine is resistant to change, immovable in its quest for control and profit. So we ask, has the corporate world really changed, or are we just being forced back into the same old grind, the same soulless machine under the guise of a new normal? Despite a global crisis, the soulless corporate machine remains largely unchanged. As the world adapts to the new normal, corporations are forcing employees back to the office. But for whose benefit? As the dust settles on our global crisis, the corporate world is clamoring for a return to the status quo. Employees once given the freedom and flexibility of remote work are now being summoned back to their corporate cubicles. But the question begs to be asked, who really benefits from this return? The answer may not be as straightforward as you think. Corporations would have you believe that it's for the benefit of the employees. They tout the importance of face-to-face collaboration and the camaraderie of shared physical space. But peel back the corporate rhetoric and you'll find a different story. As employees, we've proven that we can work effectively from home. We've juggled work responsibilities with personal obligations, all while navigating the challenges of a global pandemic. And yet, our efforts are being disregarded as corporations push for a return to the office, often without a sincere consideration for our well-being. It's not just about the physical health risks, although those are certainly significant. It's also about mental health, work-life balance, and the right to choose a work environment that suits our needs. By forcing a return to the office, corporations are effectively dismissing these concerns. It's clear that the primary beneficiary of this return to office is not the employee, but the corporation. The return to office is a bid to reassert control, to reestablish the corporate hierarchy, and to ensure that employees remain cogs in the corporate machine. The disregard for employees' mental and physical health, the lack of empathy for personal circumstances, and the refusal to adapt to a changing world all point to a corporate system that values profit over people. As we navigate these uncertain times, it's crucial for us to question this return to the office. We need to ask ourselves, are we returning for our benefit or for the benefit of the corporate machine? It is clear that the return to the office is more for the corporation's benefit than for the employees. It's time for employees to stand up for themselves. The question is, will you? The narrative of the corporate world is changing, and you, the employees, are at the center of this transformation. You are not just cogs in a machine. You are the fuel that keeps the engine running. Without you, the corporate world would come to a standstill. It's high time that this reality is recognized. It's not about going against your employer, it's about advocating for your rights, your well-being. It's about ensuring that the workplace becomes a space that respects your individuality, your needs, your aspirations. It's about bringing humanity back into the corporate world. We've seen how the pandemic has shown that work can be done from anywhere. The traditional office-centric work model isn't the only way. Flexibility, remote work, work-life balance, these aren't mere buzzwords. They are essentials that can make a significant difference in the quality of your life. In the face of corporations insisting on a return to the office, you have the power to say no. You have the power to demand change, to demand a work environment that respects your needs, your life outside work. It's time to redefine what normal looks like in the corporate world. The revolution for a better corporate world doesn't start in boardrooms. It starts with you. It starts with you recognizing your worth, your power, and standing up for it. It starts with you refusing to be a part of a system that doesn't value your well-being. Remember, it's not just about you. Your actions, your stand, can pave the way for others. It's about creating a ripple effect that can bring about real, meaningful change in the corporate world. So, let's stand up. Let's be the change we want to see. Let's not settle for less. Let's not let the corporate machine dictate our lives. The time for change is now, and it starts with you, the employee. So, what have we learned about the corporate world and its disregard for employees' well-being? Let's take a moment to reflect and connect the dots. We've peeled back the layers of the corporate world like an onion, revealing its core. We've seen that the corporate culture, once heralded as a beacon of progress and innovation, is more akin to a conundrum. It's a puzzling, often disorienting maze where the human element is often lost in the labyrinth of profit margins and shareholder value. We journeyed back in time, comparing the corporate world of then and now. We found that despite the transformative power of technology and the lessons learned from a global pandemic, the essence of corporate culture remains unchanged. The shiny, modern exteriors of today's corporations often mask an interior that's stuck in the past, where employees are viewed as replaceable parts in the machinery of profit generation, rather than as valuable contributors. We examined the recent push to return to the office. We unearthed the uncomfortable truth that this move is less about the well-being of employees and more about maintaining control and feeding the insatiable corporate machine. The rhetoric of returning to normal often conceals the harsh reality that normal was never truly beneficial for the employees to begin with. We discussed the importance of standing up, of not allowing ourselves to be steamrolled back into the same corporate world that existed before the pandemic. It's a world that often disregards our well-being, our needs, and our voices. The time for change is now, and it begins with us, the employees. The corporate world is a machine, and it's up to us, the cogs, to demand change. We must remember that a machine cannot function without its components. We are the lifeblood that keeps this machine running. It's high time we unmask the corporate world for what it truly is, and strive for a workplace that values us as individuals, not just as profit generators.